Good evening and welcome to another edition of HGP Sport. For today, I'm Jaden Samuels. Thanks for joining us. We begin the cast this evening with some boxing news, a pathway that allows for a transformation of boxing and other disciplines here in Guyana is presently being worked on. This is a move stakeholders and the Guyana Boxing Board of Control is taking, providing a way out for local pugilists. The details in this report. Boxing across the board in Guyana has had its challenges and still continues to experience many, but stakeholders are coming together to fix the missing pieces to this puzzle as Guyana continues its transition into first oil. The Guyana Boxing Board of Control, due to the lack of financial input from the business community, was unable to keep the fighters active, but under these new developments, changes are underway. In an exclusive interview with HGP Sport, Alim Hussein, a member of the planning committee, said the Not In My House boxing card, which was postponed to this month, is just a preview of what's to come. Hussein also explained how Guyana is projected to become the mecca of boxing.
So boxing for us is this. The program we're working on goes beyond the Not In My House card. We have signed a deal through the president of the WBC, the local WBC Fecker Box region, Mr. Peter Abdul, that would allow us to bring WBC title fights to Guyana. Not on a one-off basis, but on a weekly basis, where fighters from around the world will fight in Guyana for titles all over the world. And that gives Guyana a prestige. We will become the mecca of boxing, we'll become the Las Vegas of boxing, where every single person who wants to fight comes to Guyana.
Wearing many hats, Hussein reiterated that sports will be able to grow in Guyana once the right minds are put in place. However, urbanization remains one of the biggest challenges. The Gulf president made it clear that funding and partnerships have already been secured. The job can get done in quick time. However, spaces have to be allocated.
I think one of the challenges we've had is urbanization. As more and more the demand for land in the city has become so great, public spaces like horse racing, cricket grounds and everything like that have diminished. So if the government were to look beyond where we are now and allocate some of the state lands, the former Sugar Estate lands, we do have the facility, the partnerships that will build that in a heartbeat. And one of the things you should have known about me for over the years is that when I say something is going to happen, it happens, and it happens very quickly. Sometimes people don't like it because I run too fast for them, but it will get done. We partnered with Nanpasad several years ago, and now Nanpasad is one of the top horse racing venues in the 36th village. In fact, November 3rd, we have one of the big track meets in Berbice. It's the drag racing of horses, where it's a straight run. It's the only one of its kind in Guyana, and we drove 4,000 or 5,000 spectators to that event. So you are right, horse racing does have an audience. Georgetown needs that. Linden needs that. But the question comes down to, can we get access to the open spaces that we do have the partnerships, we do have the funding, we need the open spaces that we can do.
Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport. Still in the sport of boxing, the Terence National Open Boxing Tournament will punch off at the National Gymnasium starting from Friday, November 1 and will conclude this Sunday. Samuel Gillis reports.
The Guyana Boxing Association organized event is scheduled to showcase some of the best fighters in the Caribbean, including 2017 Junior Sportsman of the Year, Kevin Alicock, Caribbean Middleweight Champion, Dynamite Desmond Amsterdam, Jamal Eastman, and Colin Superman Lewis. Returning to the ring for the first time in 18 months is policeman Dennis Menace Thomas. Apart from Alicock, is the only current fighter to have participated at a World Championship match. His return adds spice to National Open, as Thomas will have his eyes set on being a part of the national team to the Caribbean Championships. The National Open is the last statutory event on the GBA 2019 calendar of events, and entry fee is $500 Guyana for stands and $1,000 for ringside. The first fight is set to commence at 1900 hours. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
Turning our attention to some women's cricket, Cricket West Indies announces the appointment of a new interim team management unit for the West Indies women's team for the upcoming series against India. The new management team will be led by interim head coach Gus Logie and interim team manager Ervil Betty Lewis. West Indies legend Courtney Walsh joins the team as an assistant coach. Walsh, West Indies all-time leading test wicket-taker, brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the coaching staff. He was most recently the bowling coach for the Bangladesh men's cricket team and has also served as a West Indies selector. In youth football, Volron Mills Academy and Rhythm Squad, both unbeaten in the competition so far, will meet in this Saturday's final to see who wins this year's Ralph Green Under-11 title. The details in this report. Playing at the National Training Centre Providence, these two sides will meet in the final of the 4th edition of the USA-based Ralph Green competition. President of the Guyana Football Federation Wayne Ford and Ian Innes, representative of the East Bank Football Association, will be viewing the final. This final is expected to be nothing short of competitive and will see the Group A toppers, Volron Mills Academy, clashing with the Group B winners, making way for a new champion this year. Last year's champion Tamari Panthers lost 2-0 to Rhythm Squad, while Volron Mills Academy trounced Kuru Kuru Warriors 5-0 to set up this final. The action will kick off at 10 hours 15. Jaden Samuels, HGP Sport. And finally, in sport this evening, the Guyana Jaguars are hoping to get over their mental hurdle and secure a win in the upcoming Super 50 tournament. Here again is Samuel Gillis.
Guyana Jaguars are hoping the upcoming Super 50 will be the time they break their plague of bad luck in the regional domestic 50 overs tournament. Last year, the Jaguars stumbled at the final hurdle, surrendering to eventual champions combined campuses and colleges Marooners by 6 wickets in the final in Bridgetown to miss out on their 8th title. Head coach Eason Crandon, who has overseen Jaguars' domination of the first-class championship, believes the struggle in the Super 50 is a mental block. Jaguars, who will be again led by out-of-favor West Indies batsman Leon Johnson, have been hard at work in recent weeks, putting the final touches on their preparation. They have also had the benefit of their local wide ball league, which has ensured valuable competitive practice and allowed several players to find their touch. Jaguars can back themselves to emerge as one of the 2 semi-finalists from Group B, where they will clash with host Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, Windward Islands Volcanoes, West Indies emerging players, and United States. Crandon said they plan on bringing the same intensity to each game to guard against complacency. For HGP Sport, I am Samuel Gillis.
That concludes our cast for this evening. I'm Jaden Samuel, reminding you, as always, say yes to life, yes to sport, and no to drugs. Good night.